Yeah? Can I get more of my guitar, perhaps? And then otherwise, how do the noises sound, everybody? That sounds fine, right?
More noises.
I like noises. All right, hello everybody. How are we all doing?
Good.
Oh, that was very enthusiastic. How are we all doing, everybody? Welcome to Sk8bar. There we go! I know. It's like 4 p.m. on a Sunday. You probably just got out of bed 20 minutes ago, or at least I did. I also shit myself 15 minutes ago. That's why I'm wearing this like this, so nobody can see it. But I figured it'd be easier if I just out myself now. I'm kidding, by the way. I didn't actually shit myself. Can we give it up for Wounded Crane? They did a wonderful job their first show. Now, I hate to do this to you guys. There's going to be 2 things I'm going to do that you guys aren't going to like. One thing is going to be playing a little bit softer than they did. I know, kind of sucks. The other thing is the thing that nobody ever wants to hear. Can we all scooch up a little bit? There's a camera over there, and it's going to look really terrible if you're all behind the camera. There we go, great job, good teamwork, good teamwork. We're all hiding by the bar, that's fine. If you want a drink, you can get one, absolutely. Look at us go. We're going to start out much softer, but we'll kind of ramp it up a little bit. Have our buddy Andy hop up on stage with us. bass gets to shine, actually. We never do this. In our culture, the bassists always get shit on. They're like 5 strings, 4 strings, 6 strings even. It doesn't matter. You're still just a bassist. But this is all about the bass. This next song is called New Age. Fun thing about making music. When you make music, you get to make music with your best friends. One of these best friends is actually a band. This is Andy, everybody. Say, hi, Andy. Another thing, everyone say, hi, Steve. Hi, Steve. I love you. That's his dad. All right, Andy, you want to say a few words to the crowd?
What's up, everybody? My name's Andy. I'm from a band called Face the Gates, and I've been practicing with these guys for like about a month or so, and it's been like the most fun I've had like in so long. I haven't been on stage since I was 15 years old. I'm 30 now. So I haven't been on a stage since I was in like a butt rock cover band. So this is the next step, y'all. But I'm really psyched to be here, so I hope you guys enjoy it.
Hell yeah! 6 feet from the edge and I don't know, that's not even the
Should we just go into a Queen song?
Okay, so what? I'll never let you stay there. I know you are. Take it all.
That's it for me, y'all. I'm Andy from Face the Gates. We're local from KC. My bandmate's actually right there in the blue sweatshirt. Yeah, we're on all streaming platforms, and hopefully we'll be playing the show here one day. So, thanks, y'all.
This next song, I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. I know we're already pretty chill in comparison, but if you feel like getting a drink right now is your chance. And if I could get myself turned up to the monitors as well, TJ, that'd be lovely. I'll be anything that happens when you're always so confusing when you can't leave it. 'Cause I woke up in a bed, my heart's full of regret. I wonder what I said here again. I don't know what to do. I find love in you. Maybe this is the reason that I need to try. Maybe I don't need to try. Maybe she's in the night. She lives there. Night she lives there. Maybe I do is right. Time is out of the God. She lives there. God, she's still Thank you very much. This can be our last song for the night. If you feel any pent-up energy like you didn't move around, because I know I didn't, this is going to be your chance to do that. It's not going to be moshing, we're going to be very, very lighthearted about it. Give it up for Brighter.